Welcome to the CEO Coach Show. I'm your host and coach Rebecca Nesbitt. And if you read the title of this show and you are stressed because now we're being told that in marketing we need 51 exposures before someone likes, and trusts us enough to buy from us, then I feel you because I heard this and I was shook. So I thought it would be very important to come to this show and share a few things that I kind of returned to after I heard this crazy statistic and a few of the things that you can do to make those marketing exposures a little bit easier. So before we get started on two ways that we can make this easier for sure, I want to hit you with like a little bit of real talk. Now brace yourself because I'm just going to be really honest. I have a little bit of a tendency sometimes to make people cry, and I don't intend to, but it sometimes happens. And it's because genuinely I don't think you can murder the truth. And I think that this is really important. So the real talk is the people who are watching you online, who are potentially looking to buy from you either now or in the future, they don't see the late nights, the early mornings, all the effort, the self-care moments, or whatever else it is that you are selling to them. The real time moments where you're working the strategy or you're hosting the social media, whatever it might be that you teach, coach, provide a service for, even if you have a product-based business, if you are not sharing those things consistently, you're really going to struggle in the market right now because people need to see what's going on. Not behind closed doors, you crying because it's really hard, because that happens to all of us. We have all cried over how hard business is. And anyone that says that they haven't, sure, you lie about other things too. So it's hard for everyone. It doesn't mean that everyone's like behind closed doors crying all the time, but occasionally the emotions are very, very high. It doesn't mean you have to go crying through social media. It doesn't mean that you have to be angry. It doesn't have to be explosive. That's not what I'm saying we need to share in terms of behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, you need to share that you're living the life that you tell other people you can help them to get, or that you're providing the services that you're telling other people that you're good at providing, and you're already doing the work. So that was the real talk. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that you listened to it, because it's sometimes really not easy to hear that this sounds really silly, but that other people don't see, and that to a degree, other people don't care. Because a lot of people online, pretty much everyone online, doesn't really know who you are. And that's why it takes those 51 exposures. And I do believe that to a degree, this 51 exposures has come about not only because there's been so much marketing, but because, and this is my soapbox, there are many people that have built businesses on fake promises, not delivered results, and people have been burned. Now, if it's happened to you, my deepest apologies, because it has happened to me and it is the worst feeling in the world. You can give a bunch of money. We gave $25,000 at one point to someone who we genuinely believed in, and it was the worst offer that I have ever seen. Like nothing to build. It was changed halfway through. It was all shades of the drama. And I don't think this person set out to deliver poor service, but that's certainly what many people in that particular community received. And I don't mention their name because I'm not someone that wants to drag someone through the mud. That's not me. That's not who I am. But I know that that's why we need this 51 exposures now, is because people online are not always to be trusted. And we all see that now. We've all had an opportunity over the last 4 years where there's been this digital boom to be really burned by a coach that didn't hold up their end of the bargain, a service provider that didn't provide the greatest service. Lord knows that's happened to me too. And that's why it's harder now to do online marketing. And anyone that says it's not, y'all listen to someone else that will actually preach truth. And also, anyone who made all of their money in 2020 and is like, I made $1 million in 2020, but can't prove anything for 21, 22, 23, or 24, listen to someone else who is making money right now, is all I will say on that. But that's why the 51 exposures is because people have seen these big statements not be fulfilled and they need to know that they can genuinely trust you. So I do believe, and this is my coaching belief, that if you are saying you can get a result for someone else, you have to be able to get it for yourself. That is my fundamental belief. I know there are other beliefs in coaching that say that anyone can coach anyone to do anything. I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that's true at all. I think that you can coach people to do, and you can provide services that you've done for yourself, but you can coach people to do things that you're able to do because you know the intricacies of what that takes. So, on that basis, my friend, we still have to play the game of 51 exposures. So, if that is the case, how do we do it and make it easy? Okay, I got you. So, post what is relevant. Post what is relevant not only to your business, but to your message. So, an example of this would be a business coach posting about their self care practices, because their self care practices is what enables them to have the energy to be the coach that they are. This is such an unsung thing, I feel like, in the industry. And it's something that earlier this year I was really struggling with it. I literally asked my audience, I was like, do you want to see more of my actual life? And everyone was like, yes, because they want to know, how do you stay consistent? How do you have the energy? How do you do all of the things? And I had to start sharing parts of that. So there are a few different camps when it comes to social media, but there is one that is very much for only post what is relevant to your audience. And then there's another one that says showcase genuinely lifestyle. I am in the boat of showcase the lifestyle. The lifestyle should not take over what you actually do. If you were to look at my Instagram for a week, you would see very much that we post a lot about our community. We post all of our community events more than my personal life. But those little extra things that make me seem like a trustworthy human, because I actually am a trustworthy human, really, really help. So if you want to make it easy, share not only your business, but also share all those different parts of your message. And if your message literally is work all the time, hustle, wake up in the morning, get coffee, and work, share that message, because you're the right person for someone if that is your message. But we can't just stand behind, I help you do X. That doesn't fly anymore. The big transformation statements, even the big testimonials, don't fly anymore. We need the exposure of, are you genuinely a trustworthy human? Can you be trusted with this investment? Can I trust you to get me this result? Is what people are looking for now. And that's a little bit harder just because of the last 4 years and the boom of online. And also, not only are there people that, it's like anything. I always say this about hairdressing. So hard to find a hairdresser. I moved to America 2 years ago, and so hard to find a hairdresser. Thank the Lord for Aubrey. But in that 2 years, I was really looking for someone. I only actually found someone earlier this year. I was looking for someone. I went to a few. You're going to get hairdressers that just like aren't your vibe. They're not right for you. They don't give you the right cut. And then you're going to find one that you love, and you're going to be like, yes, this is the person I want to invest my money with. This is the haircut I want. And That happens in every industry. It's not just online. So I don't want to make it out that like online is this like seedy, crazy place. It's not. Like you get that in every occupation. We've had renovations done at our house. Some of the people that have come to do renovations for us, electricians, painters, things of that nature, have been excellent. Some have not been as excellent. We name no names, but just be aware that this happens in every industry. It's not just online. It just so happens that online, we're talking about marketing, and we have to be able to field those people who have not done the best by their clients. Or you can say their clients have not been in the right place to receive them. I know that's an argument we'll get, so let's just go there. But developing trust means being an actual human being and showing up for people and showing up consistently. And I think this is the next thing that we really struggle with is outside of what you do in your stories and sprinkle your grid with, the picture of your wedding or your dog that's super cute. If you have a super cute dog, let me know. Want to see all those pictures. But then we come down to like the content, and it's like all the drama. The number one challenge that we get from the women that come into CEO Crowd membership and from all of the market research we did was I leave social media to last. And some of the women that we have in our community are amazingly consistent, but still feel like they're not. And I think this is a societal message that we're getting now, or an entrepreneurship culture message that we're not posting enough. But when we get into the content conversation, it can be so challenging. So I have a chat GPT prompt for you should you wish to use it. I don't believe that it should create your content. I want to be very clear before I give this prompt. I don't think that you should just directly copy what ChatGPT has to say. It will not say it in your voice. It will not speak directly to your client. I think that the best way to create content is think, how did she wake up today? That's how I like to create content. How did the CEO wake up today who doesn't have a community? And I'm like, well, she woke up and she has questions and she's stressed and she woke up late and now she's beating herself up and she has no one to turn to because she's not part of a community. She has no calls on the books for the day because she hasn't connected with a lot of people. So she's really struggling to book those discovery calls. And then I just start to think, okay, well, what does she need to hear? She needs some motivation to keep going. She needs to know there's a community out there that cares. She needs to know that what she has to say in the world is really valuable. So if that's the case, then I create content from there. Times where I've felt like that, times where clients have shared with me that they've felt like that. Just motivational messages is something that I feel very drawn to and that are really important for me and my audience. So I'll share a lot of that. But if you're struggling, I mean, that was like an extra bonus tip, but if you're struggling, we do have a chat GPT prompt that you can use, but use this prompt and then read the words that it gives you and recall stories that are in alignment with what it gives you. Say that again. Read the words that it gives you. It's going to give you a table and recall the stories from your own very real life or from your clients that essentially match up so that you can share through story instead of just sharing, here's 3 tips for this. That's kind of overdone, I'm going to say. I think sometimes it can be really, really helpful, but an entire wall of feed that's just like, here's 3 tips for this, here's 3 tips for that, here's 7 ways to do this. It's a very specific audience. If you have that audience, then change this prompt. But if you don't and you want to do things a little bit more authentically, which is probably why you're here, then this is for you. So the prompt is in the description, but I'll read it out right now. I want you to do some research for me. Act as an expert Instagram social media marketer and tell me 10 fears, 10 frustrations, and 10 desires that, insert your niche, experience with insert what it is that you do. So maybe it's that female entrepreneur's experience with human design, for example. Put it in a table format, label X axis 1 to 10 and Y axis fears, frustrations, and desires. That will give you a table and you just run along the table and you see, oh, well, the fear is that I am not being seen, I'm not visible online. The frustration is that whenever I try to be visible online, it goes against how I feel that day. And the desire is that I want to feel like I have a visible business, right? That's so out of the blue. But say we're going with this human design example, then your answer to that is, oh, you just need to learn what your human design is. So then you tell a story of someone who felt those frustrations, those fears, and wanted that desire, and how you helped them get there. Or that might have very much been your own journey. So that's essentially how the chat prompt works. And again, please do not just copy and paste the three sections. If you fear this and you're frustrated by this and you desire this, join my program, you could. But please don't. I think that a big part of people know, liking, and trusting you and getting to the point where they follow you for long enough to get 51 exposures, I do believe that a point of that is being you. You are the business. If you're a solopreneur, you are the business. And while you want to build culture and value at the very beginning, it's you, boo. And you want to get to those 51 exposures so that those sales are easier. And I know that 51 exposures, again, it sounds like so much, but if you're just integrating these really simple, sharing your message as well as your business and how you can help other people, as well as getting your content out there, it's going to make that number go down a lot faster. And remember that 51 exposures is per person. So you get 100 views on Reel, and it's like, cool, that's one exposure for 100 people. That's huge. If you had an actual shop and people walked in and there was 100 people in your shop, that would be wild. There's shops in Seguin where I live that wouldn't even fit 100 people. I'm thinking specifically like our Christmas store is the coolest thing ever. Shout out to the Christmas shop. But 100 people in that store with all of those ornaments, and it would just be craziness. It'd be wild. They wouldn't be able to cope with 100 people. And if you're someone who is at this point kind of getting those like 100 views and you're upset that you're not getting viral millions, don't be. Like, that's 100 lives that you touched and 100 exposures. Mm-mm-mm. We love that for you. We love it for you. So I know that 51 sounds like a big number. I was shook too. But I do believe with integrating these really simple hacks, then you can actually meet those numbers. And we've just spoken about content. You've got to think if you have a podcast, if you have YouTube, if you have a weekly email, those things all count. So don't discount all of the things that you could be doing. They all count, they're all important. You're doing great work. Keep going, because if you're listening, if you're still listening, you're likely someone who genuinely can be trusted and wants to do good in the world and wants to help people with their business. Like, if you're someone that wants to help people with their business, you're 100% my vibe. That's all I want to do, is work with people who genuinely want to help the world as well as people in it to be the versions of themselves that they actually want to be. And if you're that kind of person, in my mind, you deserve the 51 exposures, you deserve the sales, but you do have to be the one that goes out and makes it happen. So I believe in you. And before we close out today, I wanted to let you know that if you are looking to be in a tribe that genuinely are the kindest people, and I don't say this about myself, I'm not even tooting my own horn, our community is just the kindest community I've ever been a part of. It has been the most wild ride and it's been so enjoyable. There are opportunities to join us, but I would say go to our Black Friday VIP list. It is a mystery what we will be offering, but it will be featuring exclusive offers only available for Black Friday and only available to the people on our VIP list. So definitely hop on that list. The link is in the description alongside your ChatGPT prompt if you choose to use it. If you do, please send me the reel, send me the post. I will repost it personally, and I'm so excited to see what you create. And in the meantime, before I see you next time, I'll be over here believing in you and believing in your business.